The globalists are trembling, folks. The markets are reeling, not from chaos, but from cold, calculated leadership. President Trump has done what no other president had the guts to do since NAFTA gutted American industry. He's declared all-out economic war on our trade enemies. He said the shrill voices you're hearing about tariffs are the same scoundrels who never thought twice. The United States lost 90,000 factories. That's what President Trump said. And he's right. When Bill Clinton signed NAFTA, we got pink slips instead of prosperity. Now Trump's bringing back factories, jobs, and American fire. Pharma terrified. Lumber coming home. And approximately 40% of the world's nations are crawling to Trump's trade desk. Not to fight, but to negotiate new deals. And as Trump battles to rebuild American manufacturing through tariffs, your body's fighting its own battle against time. A groundbreaking 2024 study shows that collagen can dramatically improve skin health and reduce signs of aging. But unlike those Chinese knockoffs flooding our market, you need quality American-made nutrition. That's why I trust BioTrust multi-collagen formula with 5 key types sourced from 4 different places. It's supporting American jobs while supporting your skin, helping you look and feel younger despite the economic stresses we face. Just like Trump's tariffs are bringing manufacturing home, BioTrust brings your youth back. Visit healthwithgary.com for 51% off today. You'll find the link in the description. Let's check in with what the Secretary, Scott Bessent, just said on Fox News a few short hours ago about the imbalances in our trade.
Last night, we started with a 90-day pause, and we will see if more countries turn up what will happen. But we have a meeting with Vietnam today, and we have one of the largest trade deficits with them. So I'm hoping it will move in a good direction. I was at the Japanese ambassador's house last night for the Cherry Blossom Festival, which was quite festive, and he and I had a good chat. They are going to send a deal team over, so we'll see. These are complicated negotiations. These are imbalances that have taken decades to create, but I think having seen the maximum level that Donald Trump is willing to go to, President Trump has created this negotiating leverage.
That's what he does. It's the art of the deal on the global stage. President Trump is creating the leverage. Here's Tom Emmer. POTUS knows the art of the deal. He strengthened the United States negotiating power and has masterfully positioned American workers back on top. The days of the United States being ripped off by other nations are over. And here is the White House post from a New Truth Social post from the president. 125% tariff on China. At midnight last night, it was only 105, with President Trump upping the ante, a 90-day pause, and lowered tariff for other countries effective immediately. Now, some will say, like the front page of the Drudge Report, saying Trump blinked first. No, he created the leverage, brought the people to the table, and now there is real negotiating going on so that it's a fair playing field. So don't believe the fake news that's going to give you fake headlines, all right? This is the art of the deal. Don't believe the lies. Here's President Trump talking about everybody wants to make a deal in the Oval Office.
President, would you consider talking or meeting with Xi Jinping?
Oh, sure. He's a friend of mine. I like him. President Xi, I like him. I respect him. But they haven't treated our country right. Sure, I'd meet with him. On the other countries, we have Japan is here, and South Korea is here, and others are here, and we're trying to see them. It's from what I hear, it's much more than 75. I said 75 plus. So many. It's everybody wants to make a deal, actually, and we want to do what's right for our country. We also want to do what's right for the world. The world is important. I mean, it's the world, right? And I think we're going to make a lot of people very happy. And I think investing in the United States of America will be the greatest investment that anybody's ever made.
Would you consider talking?
And it's all about to happen. Here's President Trump talking about deal making outside the White House.
Markets, because they change. You have to have flexibility. I could say, here's a wall, and I'm going to go through that wall. I'm going to go through it no matter what, and keep going, and you can't go through the wall. Sometimes you have to be able to go under the wall, around the wall, or over the wall. These guys know that better than anybody, right? You got to go around them sometimes. You're not going to go through them. So I consider, I think in financial markets, because they change. Look how much it changed today. We went from, pretty moderate today, but over the last few days it looked pretty glum, to, I guess they say it was the biggest day in financial history. That's a pretty big change. And I think the word would be flexible. You have to be flexible. Like he's asking the question about some companies. Some companies, through no fault of their own, they happen to be in an industry that is more affected by these things than others. You have to be able to show a little flexibility. And I'm able to do that. You have to have flexibility.
You got to be flexible. So if you remember, there was a leak about the 90-day pause, and there was discussion of it. The press secretary came out and said it was fake news. But now we are learning that, in fact, it is true. And they're going to have this 90-day pause on certain countries so that the leverage can continue and the negotiations can begin. Here's a reporter asking about Chuck Schumer and Nancy Pelosi. They've been talking about tariffs for decades. Do you see the double standard?
It's working.
Chuck Schumer and Nancy Pelosi, they've been talking about tariffs for decades. How come when these Democrat elites want tariffs, everything's hunky-dory, but when President Trump wants tariffs, all hell breaks loose? Do you see this double standard?
I love this guy. Whoever the hell that is. That's really nice. I appreciate that question. No, Chuck Schumer, Nancy Pelosi, everybody knew you had to do it, but they never had the guts to do it. It does take guts. It even takes guts for our country to go through it. That's why I say be cool. They were saying about, see, just be cool. It's going to work out. It's going to work out, and it's working out. I can tell you, working out maybe faster than I thought. But I said it's going to take a little conditioning. It's a transition to. It's really, I think, it's a transition to greatness. It's going to be greatness. Our country is going to be. There'll be nothing like it, and people investing in our country, they're going to do better than they've ever done before. We have more car manufacturers, Roger, coming into our country now. Speaking of cars. We've never seen anything like it. And they're coming in because of the election, but they're coming in because of the tariffs, because they don't want to pay 25 or 50 or whatever it may be. They don't want to pay that. They can't pay that. We had 3 cancellations in Mexico, building a plant. They're all coming into the United States. Canada, they're coming in. From China, they're coming in from everywhere. And that's just cars. We have chip makers coming. We're the biggest chip maker in the world from Taiwan, coming in, spending $3 billion to build plants, and mostly a big plant. This is a hell of a plant when you spend the kind of money that they're going to go $200 to $300 billion, not million. You'd say million would be the right number. It's not $200 to $300 billion. Think of that, $300 billion. If you look at Apple is going to spend $500 billion building a plant. They wouldn't be doing that if I didn't do this. They'd just keep building them in China. And that's unsustainable. It's not a pleasant thing to do, but I appreciate the question. And, interestingly, Chuck Schumer and Nancy Pelosi, Crazy Nancy, they've wanted to do this for years, but they never had a president that had the guts to do it, because it does take guts, believe me.
They never had a president willing to do it. Crazy Nancy. Oh, man, you got to love it. Here's more. Outside the White House, President Trump, a deal is going to be made with everyone, and they will be fair. See, this is the art of the deal, folks.
It will be fair deal. Deal could be made with every one of them. A deal's going to be made with China. A deal's going to be made with every one of them. And there'll be fair deals. I just want fair. They will be fair deals for everybody. But they weren't fair to the United States. They were sucking us dry, and you can't do that. We have $36 trillion of debt for a reason. We don't have it there for fun. They have it for a reason. And people took advantage of our country, and they ripped us off for decades. I've been thinking about this for decades. If you ever saw me on television, I was young like these guys. And those are good old days, I'll tell you, Roger. But I was like these guys, young, and I was talking about it. Nothing changed, and nothing was done about it. Then I did it. In my first term, I did it, and did it well. We took in hundreds of billions of dollars from China and others, and I started the process, but then we had to fix up from the COVID mess caused by China. We had to fix up from that, and we did a good job of
China. President Trump, say it. China.
Doing it. And
China.
When we handed back the reins after a rigged election, and when we handed back the reins, the stock market was higher than it was before COVID coming in. So, we did a great job, but we didn't have time to do the big thing, which we're doing now. And it's, it's like a patient is sick. You have to do surgery. Patient is very, very sick. And Joe Biden handed us over a country that was in very serious trouble, economically and in every other way. They let China run away with things. They let other countries run away with things. Deal can be made with.
America is sick, and President Trump is the only doctor who can fix it. Let's check in with Peter Navarro. The art of the reciprocal trade deal. Check this out. This is on Fox Business just a few hours ago.
And I'll tell you, Charles, this is one of the greatest days in American economic history we have had. I think we're going to call it the art of the reciprocal trade deal. And I'll tell you, all the nervous Nellies on Wall Street who try to undermine us consistently underestimate the power of the president to negotiate. What have we got here? We are at a place now where we have a broad-based 10% global tariff on. Well, we negotiate over the next 90 days with all of these countries who have come to us. And the mission, Charles, in these negotiations is to dramatically reduce our trade deficit, level the playing field, get rid of all the tariff differentials, get rid of all the non-tariff barriers. Dow 50,000. Charles, I've said this before. It's going to hit that. We're going to have a broad-based recovery in the S&P 500. Right. Charles.
Broad-based recovery, Dow at 50,000. That is what Navarro is prophesizing. And with all this happening, it wouldn't surprise me if it came true. Here's Secretary Scott Bessent. We've given 90 days.
And with, as I said, we've given 90 days, and the only certainty we can provide is that the U.S. is going to negotiate in good faith, and we assume that our allies will too. And in terms of certainty, we will see what China does. But what I'm certain of is that what China is doing will affect their economy much more than it will ours, because they have an export-driven, flood the world with cheap export models, and the rest of the world now understands, because when we put up our tariff wall, those exports were already flowing to the rest of the G7 and to the global south.
And you think Secretary, how much of this decision was driven by the bond market cratering overnight? What is happening on China selling their bonds?
I have nothing that says that, and we actually had quite a good 10-year auction today, and all this was, again, this was driven by the president's strategy. He and I had a long talk on Sunday, and this was his strategy all along, and that, you might even say that he goaded China into a bad position. They responded. They have shown themselves to the world to be the bad actors. And we are willing to cooperate with our allies and with our trading partners who did not retaliate. It wasn't a hard message. Don't retaliate. Things will turn out well.
And look at the screen there. Dow Jones Industrial Average. Look at that huge green spike. What does that tell you? Trump is on the right track. Let's keep going. We've got more. Oh, here's Chris Matthews. What's he saying on MSNBC? Okay, he says we get so much of our lumber, 2x4s from Canada. What are we going to do? Have more lumber made in the U.S.? Well, why wouldn't we? Oh, come on, Chris Matthews.
What are we going to do? Have more? But there's other thing. I watched on the evening news last night, one of the other networks, and I watched the issue of lumber. Now, you see, we get so much of our lumber, our 2x4s, from Canada. Where we get it from? Canada. We get our newsprint from up there for newspapers. The fact is we get it. What are we going to do? Have more lumber made in the United States now? What is our plan now? Oh, we're not going to import wood, so we're going to make more wood? We're going to create...
Wow. Is it that difficult, Chris? Trees, man. They grow. You plant them. Remember, this is MSNBC, okay? They don't know how to present any real facts. You're going to criticize Trump because he's going to bring lumber back to the United States? Good God.
Eat more wood? Is that it? I don't think we're in a position to simply replicate the imports coming into this country with our own products. It can't always be done. And I think if wood's example of that, wood. Are we going to make more wood in this country because of our trade deal? I don't think so. But there's...
Okay, listen, I understand it's going to take some time for a lot of these industries to come back. And yeah, it's going to take some time for trees to grow, but I think we do have trees here in the United States. Yeah, I think we do have lumber that is actually grown here in the United States. Chris Matthews, dude, unbelievable. Oh, wow, what do we have here? We have more from MSNBC. John Kennedy going on Scarborough. Oh, what's he going to say? Oh, it's going to be good.
Done. When I say the president's won, here's what I mean. Would 40% of the 200 countries in the world be coming to America now trying to reduce their tariffs if President Trump had not done what he did? No. Every fair-minded American knows that. I just don't know what's going to happen next. In terms of China, look, China wants a deal. For them right now, it's not about the economy. It's about saving face. China wants a deal. China's economy is in worse shape, I'll be glad to talk about it if you want, than it's been in 25 years. They can't afford a trade war. They are quietly seeking a deal with President Trump, as are 40% of the countries in the world. I mean, the president's won. We wouldn't have this opportunity but for what he did. All I'm saying is, let's take it. Let's take it. Let's pounce on it like a ninja. I would be on this deal like a hobo on a ham sandwich, man. I'd have him lined up at the White House. When I say the president's won,
that's what we're waiting for. The hobo on the ham sandwich. Yes, President Trump bringing people to the table to get these deals cut. Here we have more from Kennedy on Scarborough.
Goes next. Some of the smartest minds across the world are betting on a recession. What are you saying to your business leaders when they're calling you about where this goes next?
Well, this is what I'm telling them. With tariffs, an eye for an eye just leaves both people blind. When a government imposes a tariff, it's putting its thumb on the scale. It interferes with people's freedom to exchange goods and services. Some countries, China, the best example, have used trade barriers as a weapon to hurt the American economy. You said it. God created the world. Everything else is made in China. President Trump decided to try to change this, and he, as we know, has imposed dramatically higher American tariffs on these countries. But then, at least for me, an extraordinary thing happened. We have 195 countries in the world. Probably 40% have come forward, and instead of bowing up and fighting, they've said, we want to lower our tariffs. Will you lower yours? I frankly never saw that coming. I think it is a wonderful opportunity. Now, I don't want to feign understanding. I do not know what the president is going to do next. There's an internal debate and going on inside and outside the White House. I can just tell you what I would do, Joe. I would pounce on this opportunity like a ninja.
Yeah. Ninja, China. All right, let's keep going. We have some more here. Here's Larry Kudlow with a huge market prediction.
Countries. If Scott Bessent is talking about as many as 70 countries, if Caroline Leavitt, the press secretary, is talking about 70 countries, if President Trump is talking about all these countries, then you know that they are looking to negotiate and make deals that will open up markets for the U.S., deals that will level the playing field with respect to our tariffs and their tariffs. And yeah, that's going to include some non-tariff barriers as well, although I don't think that's as important as some people do. There's no question they've changed their view. Now, was it a function of the stock market? I don't know. I think it's also a function of these countries coming in to us and saying, we want to make a deal.
Yeah.
And that's what Trump likes. He likes that a lot. He wants them to be the supplicants, and I think he's itching to make a deal. And by the way, here, Scott Bessent said April, May, June are going to be busy months, okay? If you could get a couple, 3 deals in the next 3, 4, 5 weeks, I don't know how many weeks, 6 weeks, that's going to trigger a tremendous rally in the stock market.
Whoa.
Because people are going to say, you know what, the Trump people were right. This is exactly how it's playing out. They were treated unfairly. Now with this threat that they're making pays off. Trump is a master negotiator. I don't see, frankly, at this point, to me, all this recession talk, it's the greatest recession that never happened. I don't see it. I just don't see it. If the evidence comes in, you know me. If the empirics come in, I'll say yes.
You'll call it. I know.
I don't see any evidence of a recession.
Larry.
No evidence of a recession. You know, it's not just about tariffs. It's a complete reset of the American economy. One piece of coal, a steel beam, $1 at a time. Even Larry Kudlow sees it coming. If you get a couple deals in a few weeks, that's going to trigger a tremendous rally in the stock market. Remember Obama bragging about his tariffs on China? The same media that cheered him is now losing its mind because Trump is doing it better and bolder. Senator John Kennedy, he summed it up perfectly. Instead of bowing up and fighting, they have said we want to lower our tariffs. President Trump won. Let's pounce on these deals like a ninja. So here's my question for you. Is Trump's tariff strategy the key to restoring American manufacturing? Or should we have started this fight decades ago? Let us know in the comments below. And show your support for American manufacturing with your next news gear at shop.nextnewsnetwork.com. Check out the store.